I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, welcome everybody for Wednesday, November 14th, 2018. We have a special request. A couple of the people that watch this program at home say that when people speak from the audience, they don't know what the questions are, and whoever is up here answering it isn't repeating the question and then getting the answer. So if you don't mind, we'd like you to go up to the podium and state your name and address and then whatever your question is, just so that the people at home will be able to see this. Roll call attendance, please.
Sue?
Here.
Tom?
Here.
Kathy?
Here.
Mary Agnes?
Here.
Sherry? Here.
Okay, we have agenda approval. It's 2 pages. Is there any additions or deletions that anyone wants to add? I do have under consent agenda, open to be paid Kelly Law Firm in the amount of $137.50 for legal. I have Piper Zach Well Drilling in the amount of $1,156.66. So that brings the grand total now of the $1,165.27 plus those 2 items to $2,459.43. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda with these items added?
I did want to change one thing on there. I think the item 2C tax account should also read September 30th, 09/30
Okay,
of 2/18. That's all.
all right, I will add that to my question. Are you going with that motion? To approve everything plus that?
I will.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda, or the agenda approval for additions and deletions. All in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye. Those nay. Hearing none. Motion carried. Okay, first thing on our is our consent agenda. We have the minutes from October 10th, 2018. We have the treasurer's reports, the township investments for October 31st, including all CDs and money markets. We have reconciliation of general checking account number 5667 as of 9/30, reconciliation of tax account number 3905 as of 9/30, and cash summary reports by general account fund for October 30th, 2018, with all the fund numbers. We also have the approval or the clerk's reports and revenue and expenditure report ending October 31st. Approval of paychecks from October 1st through October 31st. Gross combined total income of $26,463.55. We have approval of accounts payable, $2,459.43 to be paid, and $37,841.38 has already been paid. 28 checks. The Marine City Fire Authority is in there, copy of the Fifth Third credit card account. I think that's all we have. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make the motion to present or approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second, please. All right. All right, this is a roll call vote, please, for all in favor.
Tom?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Kathy? Yes. Mary Agnes?
Yes?
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, open session is next. That's for anything on the agenda that you found. You may do so at this time. Please approach the podium to speak. Is there anyone that wants to speak?
I just wanted to know, were you going to address the compensation commission, or did you decide not to bother with it? Because it's got to be set up by December.
Well, we have it on the list.
Where?
It's on number 6. Inquiry by the supervisor if we should dissolve the township compensation committee or seek further members.
We need one of us on.
What was it, dead? Okay. All right, anyone else? Okay. Our open session's closed. Unfinished business, proposal update by Treasurer Kathy Shu for Shangri-La, Trailer Park, Water and Sewer Contract renegotiation.
I just wanted to update the board that we did get the okay to go ahead and attempt to renegotiate that terms of agreement with Shangri-La. And Nicole would be acting as an advisor. I don't know if just want her to go ahead and work with Dan, because she's got a good relationship with him, and approach him and get some information down, and maybe work with Sherry since it's utility billing. But we did get the okay from Janelle from Kelly Law Firm that she agrees and thinks that it would be a good idea to approach and renegotiate, because we need to update the rates and the number of occupied lots, etc. So I just gave you some more information. We've been bringing it up for almost 2 years, so she finally gave us something in writing. So just wanted to update the board that that would be the next step, that it is utility billing. So Nicole working with Sherry, or however you wanted to do it, but she said she'd be more than happy to
Well, I think
continue.
Chris should be included in it.
Well, yeah, whatever
I
you
mean,
decide.
more than anybody, he understands the,
Well,
Contract
whatever you
part of it.
decide, she came up with all the information on it, so she said she'll just let you know that she'd be available if you needed her, but we got the okay to go ahead, so. That was the first one. And then on the
delinquent personal property.
delinquent personal property, we've gone through all the steps, the next with the salt docks, and I provided you with more information on that as well. All the procedures have been done, all the letters have been sent, he still hasn't paid, so now I have to take the next step, and just letting you know what that is, and I provided you with the information.
Barb, are we allowed to roll personal property to taxes or no?
You have to at least try and seize
Seize it,
some of it, but it can go on
That's the
to,
next step.
it has to be seized, and then we can go to the taxes, because.
So it'd be
otherwise-
another whole year before we could roll it
Yeah,
to taxes.
but if we
and-
can seize equipment, then that would force his hand to pay.
And we have, he's the only account left. We've had 200, and we've reduced it to 1.
Oh, nice.
So,
That's great.
That's good.
that's all I have.
Okay.
Unless you
No, is there
have any
any,
other input you'd
is there
like to-
any interaction by the board? Does anybody want to
I think
add or
that's a
sub?
good idea about Chris. I think that's good.
Okay, we'll proceed with new business. We have request for board permission to have our Cottrellville Township Park Cookies and Cocoa with Santa. We'd like to have it Saturday, December 8th at 5 o'clock. With your permission, I'd like to be able to send out the little forms to the school so that they're handed out at school. Do we have a motion to approve allowing us to use that date?
December 8th. Oh, I'm just trying to think, geez, it's December 8th already. I'll make the motion that we have, we have the board's permission for Parks and Rec Committee to hold the annual Cookies and Cocoa with Santa on Saturday, December 8th, 2018 at 5 p.m.
Do you want to put a
we need to
ceiling
put a-
limit on it for money?
Do we still have some of that money that we raised left, or has that been used up?
I have never billed the township for anything for Parks and
Okay.
Rec.
Well, we
I've taken
could-
care of that myself.
Well, we had a
We-
200 on it last for something else, right?
Yeah, I think
Last for the
so.
Halloween, what do we normally spend on it? I don't know.
Well, I had to buy a Santa suit, but I don't really need to use it. And I already purchased that, and I figured on just donating that again, so.
Okay.
Cookies are, I don't know, $10, $12 a
Yeah, well, if we have money,
package. Well, we'll just pay for it if
if you keep that voice though, you can be Santa.
Thanks, Paul. All right, is
Is
there
that Paul in
anything
the
else?
back laughing?
Yeah, he's back there laughing at us.
you're coming down with something that sounds like.
It might be, yeah.
It sounds like you both are, and I really want to move right now. I just was like,
We can put you at the end.
No, aren't I always low like this?
It's usually me.
Yeah, you're usually the germ carrier.
Yeah, I am.
You got the
Usually sick.
granddaughter.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll just approve this and we'll pick it up. The members will pay for it. Okay. We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to continue with our Cocos and Cookies with Santa on December 8th. All in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. We have a request for the approval for the treasurer to place the KCI, the winter 2018 property tax bills to be printed, mailed for 1,900 statements, including two-sided. Laser print black, ink, fold, sort, mail, first-class mail, for the total cost of $1,168.20. They are requesting a $718 down payment for postage, and upon completion, the $450. I would like it all approved tonight so that when it's completed, that we don't have to come back and ask for money.
That's an estimate on the 1,900 too. That's a ballpark. It's like 1,920 but yes.
Okay. I would make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We're spending money. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Tom?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Okay, request by Assessor Barb Schutt to hire an assistant for the assessor's office. We recently lost Ruth. She passed away in October, wasn't it, or September? October. And we would like to hire Mr. Daniel Schutt. He's would be working 9 hours a week at minimum wage. That's what Ruth was making, and she was here, what, 3 or 4 years? Yeah. He's a young man. He's interested in possibly doing this as a career, so we're going to exploit him and use him. Well, minimum wage, that's what we're doing, right? If he does a good job, he gets a raise in January, I think, because the state goes out that much. We have anyone have any questions on him? I've included his resume in your package to kind of go through. He came in today, worked a little while. He's very quiet.
Shocked.
Yeah. Yeah, if he's a should. He seems like a very nice young man, very polite, and he was really listening to the things that were going on, so I would like to make a motion to approve that young man for a hire.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. And that's
Aye.
going to be spending money. We better do it by roll call, huh? Yeah.
Mary
Roll call.
Agnes?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. We have another request by Barb Schutt to pay the renewal assessor certification in the amount of $175 payable to the state of Michigan for her, and request by her to pay for a reimbursement of $30 for a class that she's attending in Port Huron on November 19th. And that check will be payable to her because she's already booked the reservation. I would move to make those 2 checks out for Barb.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote because we're spending money.
Sue?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes?
Kathy?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. We have a request by Deputy Clerk Marginar Thy Case, as at the request of Mr. Van Dorn, who owns the Shangri-La Trailer Park, to ask the township to waive a 10% penalty in the amount of $1,301.68 for a missing August water and sewer bill for Shangri-La Trailer Park, and the bill was $13,016.77. He advised he never received it and noticed it, including the penalty, when his September bill came. He requested it be waived, and I turned it down because it was late. We get charged for late payments if we don't pay our water on time, and we're not in a position to be giving away $1,300. But it's something that he could request of the entire board to give their answer, and so, if you have any questions?
He gets his bill every month, right?
Yep,
Well, he wouldn't miss
same
a-
time every month.
He wouldn't miss a $13,000 bill.
No, you wouldn't miss a $13,000 bill.
I'd say no.
Okay, well, let's, is that in the form of a motion, sir?
It sounded like much of a motion, but sure.
Okay, all right. We have a motion to deny his $1,300 10% penalty.
I'll second.
Was that you, Sue?
Yes.
Okay. We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried, thank you. We have an inquiry by me to dissolve the Township Compensation Committee until it's requested in the future, or seek members to fill the spaces for January for 2019 term. I really don't know, we haven't had any increases in quite a while. I don't know if that, we're certainly not in a position to be giving any raises. I don't know if you want to give any denials, you'd start lowering the rates.
The only, I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead, go ahead.
The only thing I was thinking was that when we did the last meeting, I wasn't sure of all the responsibilities that each department had. We did our best to fill it out. I don't know if that needs to be updated. Because we had a large majority of new officials other than you. So Angie did your responsibilities for your department the last time. I just don't know if those need to be updated, because if we're not in office next time, you'll have new people coming in and they'll be relying on 2 years of, I don't know.
Well, they have a pretty good compensation booklet right now. I don't know if they made many changes last time, did they?
No,
I didn't think they did.
that was my only concern, is if it needed to be
Do you
updated.
think there's some, have you got a copy? Do you think it needs to be?
Well, I have a copy, but it's general. I mean, but I guess they can,
Well, the
Figure it out.
reason for asking that information was to base if he was gonna get a raise or not, so.
okay, that was my only concern. Otherwise, I don't think so.
Well, we can dissolve it at this meeting, and then if you want to do something for another year, we can. It has to be done in even years.
So odd
So-
years?
Well, you need an odd year,
years,
but you set it up.
In the even years.
Okay, yeah, we wouldn't be here. We would set it up the last year we're here if we're,
If you're going to, yeah.
okay, that
Is
was
there,
my only.
do you want to put that in the form of a motion, or do you want to?
I agree, I would make the motion that we dissolve the Township Compensation Committee until requested in the future.
Okay, do we have a second to that?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to dissolve and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those no, hearing none, motion carried. All right, we have another memo from Barb. This is regarding the proposed township road repair maintenance special assessment. We had a special meeting last Thursday, the 8th, and Barb, you want to kind of let us know, you went through all of the minutes and all of the notes and...
Which memo were you looking at, the certification one?
Yeah, I think that's the first one. That's the memo, right?
Well,
Yeah.
there was this one here that I just gave to everybody about the total amount that would be collected, and then because I didn't know which one you had in your agenda, or the one I just did for the certification.
No, the certification, we didn't have when I put this together. I put this
Okay,
together
so it must have been this
Wednesday.
other one. Okay. What I did is I was just explaining to the board that it was supposed to be over a 4-year period, what the millage rate was and how it was calculated, and that it was calculated on the 2018 taxable value. And I estimated the inflation rate right around 1.23 because it had been running about that. And then I increased the taxable value each year by that amount, and then took it times the 0.5 to state for approximately 2019, you get right around there 63,378. for 20, 64,835, 21, 66, 327, and for 22, you get 67,852. So altogether in the 4 years, if we can have projects that we know we need to do, which was a couple of them stated, or what we can do in the future as the board does their yearly review of the roads as to which ones are worse, because you're looking at good old weather out there and what's going on with the roads each year. You would have a total of approximately 262,393,000 that could be collected by this special assessment for road and road repair, which would also include ditches, culverts, whatever, that's a road, to upgrade that road to some type of repair, because they're just repair right now. And of course, you know, reviewing the budget, you guys have been awesome, try as far as being frugal and cutting things as much as possible, but the funds just haven't been there. So hopefully, this is what the plan was, you know, what we're looking at as far as money's coming in. And that I had given to you, I had done this October 17th, that this really covers what I
Okay,
had done.
Barb, would you explain the certification that you have here?
And then the certification is, once we had the public hearing, because of the fact that it was done by board action to start this special assessment, per the act, if 20% of either an area or footage, depending on what type of a special you're doing, comes back and says no, then it stops that project. And in this instance, we're doing road repair, so it's done by footage. So after everyone spoke at the public hearing, all the letters that was received for the public hearing that were against the project, we literally looked at their description, looked at the map, how much road frontage they had, whether they were on a corner or two roads back to back, or however they're properly laid, calculated their frontage, and then we also calculated the frontage for the whole entire township, because it's a township-wide project, a township-wide district. So altogether, the township-wide footage is 517,980.91, and the amount of footage that was in protest is 63,476 and 60.60. Those are lineal feet, which really equals now, instead of the 20%, it's actually 12.25%. So by law, 20% would stop it. It still would be a board action. Even if the 12%, it would still be a board decision as to proceed. And there'll be two resolutions that the board will have. Resolution 2 will be, do they now want to proceed based off of this, or was there other circumstances they don't want to proceed? They would have to either change the resolution to say not to proceed, or to go ahead and pass the resolution to proceed. And then they'll have resolution 3, which will set the second public hearing, and that one is to confirm the roll. Everyone will receive another notice again. It'll be published twice. And then they'll also receive the sheet of paper. Some people went up and looked and see what their value would be. That was the roll. Each one will receive additional information that has their property description, their 18 taxable value, and the millage rate to come up with what their value would be for the 19 roll, because it's going to be on the tax bill for 2019. So those are the two resolutions they have in front of them to decide what they want to do. But the percentage was 12.25. I came back after the hearing.
Does everyone on board here understand what she just explained? Okay, is there anybody in the audience? I know this is kind of out of order, but is there anyone that needs to? Go ahead. Would you stand up there, Dan?
I just got a quick question, Barb. So is the assessment going to be made on the amount of frontage each property owner has?
No, it's a millage rate.
Okay.
It's the millage rate is 0.5, so
Right.
times your taxable value.
Okay.
So whatever your taxable value is each year, times that 0.5, just like any of the other millage rates that's on your tax bill. To verify whether or not a project proceeds or a petition has enough signatures, all that depends on what it is you're doing, and then those calculations has to be made, whether you're looking at area or footage, to make the determination whether or not to go ahead. But it's going to be spread by millage rate. And this, seeing that it's a millage rate, and it's also a township-wide millage rate, it's something that you can also claim on your income tax. Generally, flat fees like administration fees, garbage fees, drain assessments, anything like that, or any special assessment that's not township-wide, say we do one little small project of some sort, those are not something that you can claim on your income tax. There have been several people that get audited and they would have to, take that back off if they had claimed that, because a lot of people just take their automatically tax bill or what they get from their mortgage company and, yep, that's the taxes I paid, when really those numbers should be backed off. The fact that this is township-wide, the state allows you to claim that.
Okay. All right, I think we'll just file the certificate, accept it and file it. Do we need a motion to that effect?
Yes.
All right. I would make a motion that we accept the certificate that Barb prepared for this special assessment for the road repair and maintenance. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes?
Yes?
Sue?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes. Tom?
Yes.
Motion carried. All right, our next item is the second resolution that Barb was talking about for the repair and maintenance special assessment, to continue with the intent to proceed with the assessment, which consists of implementing another public hearing and authorize the supervisor and the assessor to prepare the special assessment improvement project and the district containing the names and the respective owners and the total amount to be assessed against each property. The other night when we had our meeting, she had run a roll already, so anybody that was inquiring about what it was gonna cost them was given that. Now, this next mailer that we send out, we will mail and include that if this resolution is adopted tonight. Do we have a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-09-2? I would so move.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We need roll call vote, please.
Can we open up for any discussion?
We can?
I would just like to make a record on the minutes that we were told at the public hearing that our law firm, Kelly Law Firm, reviewed this and said that all of our steps so far are in accordance with the Special Assessment Public Act 188, 1954. That's what we were told at public hearing, correct? That they reviewed it? Okay.
We went first through the Michigan Township Association, and it was their recommendation to send it all to Janelle, and we did.
Okay.
And she did answer us.
And she said we were in accordance,
Yeah.
we have that in writing somewhere?
We have
The email?
email.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want
Is that-
that in the minutes,
Oh,
that was
okay.
approved. I would request that that be in the minutes.
Okay. All right, we have a motion on the floor. Anyone else? Let's go roll call vote for this, please.
Tom?
Yes.
Sue?
No, as I voted before, because I think the fire millage should come before this. It's too much money that we don't have that's going for fire, and this is going for roads, which we need, but I think we should have done the fire, being that that's so much money.
Well, I did ask you to do the fire, and you guys voted it down. And when you vote it down, it
No,
means
we
you kill
talked-
it, but you didn't, what you should have
No.
done is table it with more information, and
We
nobody
talked
asked that.
about doing letters and sending letters out to people.
Well, this is
So-
what we do.
Yeah, I know, but we could have done the same thing, but there wasn't really that discussion.
We just asked for more information.
Yeah.
Could have been,
You didn't ask for more, you just killed it.
No.
That was
No,
it,
not
so-
really,
no,
no.
Yeah.
I didn't. I
Well-
asked for more. It's in the minutes, you can look back.
It doesn't matter, let's just continue with
Well,
our
it does
vote.
matter,
Okay, well,
She had a,
yeah, so I vote no.
okay,
Mary Agnes?
I'm in favor of it.
Kathy?
I vote no as well for the same reason. I think we should have gone for the fires first.
Okay,
Sherry? Yes.
all right, it has gone 3-2. Thank you very much. All right, let's go on to now the third resolution. This is also for the same Township Road Repair and Maintenance Special Assessment. It's to continue with the intent and to declare and proceed with the special assessment, and that total calculation of road frontages of said district was completed, and a total calculation of the total road frontages for those property owners who objected to the creation of this assessment, and it has not met the required 20% to stop the procedure. So we are asking for number 3, right? I don't know, does this whole thing have to be read, or,
No, you just need to set the date.
I'm sorry?
You need to set your date before you approve the
Okay.
resolution.
We are going to have a motion to approve this, and at that time, we are going to set the timing, which I have figured out the schedule. Would you give that one to Susie? And these two. The very first one is mailing out the letters with the proposed estimates, which will be all that paperwork that Barb had prepared, and Nicole also was here helping find what everyone's cost was gonna be. That will be included with your letter, so that you'll know if you have one or more properties, or like some of them have 10 or 12, those will all be included in an envelope so that you'll know what your costs are. On November 21st. Then the first advertisement will go in the paper, the local paper of record, which is The Voice, and then the second ad will be in the November 28th newspaper of record. And then the public hearing for this is the second public hearing for this, will be held at 7 o'clock at the Township Hall on December 6, 2018, and that is a Thursday. Do we have a motion to approve resolution number 3? I will so move.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any further discussion? If not, we have a roll call vote, please. Sherry?
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Sue?
Again, no.
Kathy?
No.
Sherry? Yes.
Okay, motion carried. We'll continue. All right. Number 10, request the supervisor to sign the attached project being funded by 50% match with the St. Clair County Road Commission in the amount of $22,500, which is half the $45,000 estimate for the project through the local 2019 Local Road Funding Assistance Program agreement. That's an agreement with St. Clair County that they will pay half of that tube up here at the corner of Marsh Road and on the northwest corner of Plank. So I need permission. We requested this or approved this about 2 months ago. It took them this long to get it before the road commission, and they sent the letter telling us that we've been approved for that as soon as we sign that agreement.
Is this out of next year's budget?
Yes,
Okay. so it won't be-
2019.
So it won't be done till then?
Right.
Okay.
Well, we wouldn't be able to sign it if we hadn't gone through with this other, so.
Well, we would have been budgeting it for the next budget though, right, regardless?
Well, there was money, but there's no money.
Well, we put
Yeah.
27 in it this year's budget, right, for the matching?
Yes, we think it was
So,
27
like that
something.
was part of the 58,000?
Mhm.
Okay, so regardless, we did it last year, so it would be for next year's budget.
Okay, well, this is the $45,000 estimate that's on the record. Do we have someone make a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve that, to sign the attached project being funded by 50% match with St. Clair County Road Commission in the amount of $22,500.
And do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
And do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, would you please do a roll call for me, please?
Tom?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Kathy?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes,
Sherry? Yes.
motion carried, thank you. The last thing on our agenda is the request by Mr. Fred Roberts. He has a petition he'd like to turn in. I made copies of it and gave it to you before he came into the office this afternoon.
Supervisor.
Thank you, sir. It's for you.
My name is Fred Roberts, and I are here to hopefully get your support on our petition to slow down speeding on M29. And it's becoming unbelievable, speeding. It is getting worse, and we have, the sheriff is not there to help us, and that is a real problem. We've tried to work with that. The citizens have made their own signs to put up to slow down at 35, and that helps a little bit, but that doesn't solve the problem. We've had the new residents as well as the older residents can see this problem, and they're extremely upset about it. It's very dangerous. As you see, it endangers our livelihood here, our the pets. We had one person killed here a couple of years ago. The property damage, the children, the whole thing is just too much. Jackie and I were trying to turn in our driveway last night, I believe it was, and they were past us on the double line right in front of my place, which is 4 or 5 doors south of the state park, or rather north of the state park. Passed in the double line, racing into the state park, and we are concerned that it is not being enforced, and we have no police to enforce it for us, unfortunately. And so we're looking for your support. We have signed the petition there we just handed in, and we're looking for your support to support us in holding back the speed limit and enforcing the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. They aren't enforcing the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, period. Nobody is. They're going 45, 50. Trucks are now rolling down. So it's a real dangerous thing, and we're not getting any support from the sheriff. We tried, I tried, we tried a year or so ago presenting the petition to the sheriff lieutenant at the, supposedly he was supposed to give it to Sheriff Donnellan, no reply from the sheriff's office. So they just have not come down to support us, period. It's all we want is a few tickets, just to show a presence, put a plant down once in a while, and enforce the speed limit. And it's just been pretty crazy. I think some of our citizens here, like that have just arrived, might add something.
Yeah, I do.
Go.
Yeah, please step up there, sir. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan Plouffe, and I'm new. I moved in the area back in July of last year. And I've got to tell you, I really think that this committee needs to do something, because there are liability concerns. You know, the speed limit is 35. The houses are on top of the road. I've lived in a lot of areas. I've never seen speeding like this before. It's mind-boggling. There's no presence of police officers. I've talked to Clay Township Police, and as you guys probably know better than I do, they take care of Clay, Algonac, and also Ira, and I believe they're being compensated for their Ira work. I've talked to the St. Clair County Sheriffs in Algonac to ask for their help, and they informed me that they have 3 people that are being compensated by Algonac to patrol Algonac only. They can't come into our area. I was also told that there's only like 1 or 2 officers for all of St. Clair County and the remainder of the Sheriff's Department. So there's no presence. And I just think it would be a darn shame if somebody gets hurt because we're not doing what we need to do. And, you know, I know that we're short of money, I understand that, but I would also ask for some exploration of maybe setting up an arrangement like some of these other places have with either the Sheriff's Department or Clay Township to help patrol the area. You know, I know, Fred, you've talked in the past about the signs that tell you how fast you're going. You know, I've seen those over by the state park that I assume it's Clay Township that puts those out. You know, that might be a help. But I think until the locals start getting some tickets and people start talking, nothing's gonna change. And I'm very concerned about it. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could support us, and I would ask that we add on to the proposal, maybe exploring paying to get some help. I was told by the Clay Township guy, names aren't important, but that it would be a minimal cost for all the homeowners of this township to have police in our township. It wouldn't just be for the roads, it would be to have a presence, police presence. I don't know how we can live in this day and age with all the craziness going on around us and not have police. So anyhow, I respectfully ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll verify that.
Just second that.
Scott Mazzola. I also live in Roberts Landing, right on the curve. And for me, it's a roll of the dice. They come around that curve so fast, because the antique store, they have that sign there on the ground. By the time I get out of my driveway, they're already there. From that sign to my house, I got a floor to get out of there so I don't get hit. My wife almost got ran over in the middle of the road. Someone just right past her, laughed at her, went faster. So it is a problem. I've watched 2 people get killed over there, a couple of accidents, and like Mr. Roberts said, it's a speed trap. They just keep going as fast as they can. It's like they get on that curve, let's see if I can do 60. Well, let's see if I can do 50. So when you are trying to get out on the road, it's difficult. And then late at night, when it's quiet, and you hear them up and down the road, it is a problem. So I don't know how it's going to be addressed, but we need to do something about it. In the wintertime, when the roads are slushy, and I'm trying to get out of my driveway, sometimes I slip a little bit. By the time I get out, there's a car right there already. Now, if you're doing 35, you got time to slow down. If you're doing 50, no, you don't. So that is an issue there in that part of our neighborhood. So.
Okay. Oh, Kath.
So, we had a discussion a few years ago, and even when we were working on the fire authority assessment, that possibly we could include the police. And so maybe that's a blessing in disguise, so that when we address it, hopefully in the beginning of the year, that maybe we could include that, so that we would have some kind of coverage through some kind of deal worked out like IRS. So, anyway, just a suggestion.
Anyone else?
Weren't we talking about public safety? Wasn't that one of the things that we could make it public safety instead of just fire? That was suggested.
Yeah, at one of the
That would include police.
public hearings at the fire department,
Right.
it was
They
brought up that
suggested.
we had already been going on the issue of fire authority, but I think actually the fire chief brought it up.
Yes, he did.
And said, you wouldn't want to include public safety. Yeah. But we had already been down the road, so I'm not asking for the election, so.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Good evening, I'm George Westergaard, and I live at the corner of Roberts Road and River Road, so I get to see a lot of traffic. And I'm comparing us to the stretch that goes between Marine City and St. Clair, and it's a double yellow line, and it has 30, 35 miles per hour the entire route, and no need for speeding there. And I've gone down and I've traced the route from Roberts Landing sign down to the 35 mile per hour limit down in Algonac, where it's a passing zone. And I'm wondering, why can't we encompass or embrace Clay Township along with our efforts in front of the state park? I authored a letter that talked about flashing lights and the 4 pedestrian crossings in front of the state park. And I know this meeting is not about the state park, but what happens is between the 35 mile per hour limit in Algonac and Roberts Landing, where it turns into 45 mile per hour again, there's 75 entrances and exits from people's driveways. And there's a number of, there's the mobile home park, there's the apartment buildings that are there. So there's a lot of address of people entering and exiting the highway. There's a lot of conflict there. And also, you always have vehicles, RVs slowing down to enter into the state park, speeding up to come out of the state park. It's a 45 mile per hour limit, and it seems pressing that a lot of people try to pass in that zone. And as you all know, if the speed limit's 45 and it's a passing zone, you have to get up to about 60 miles an hour to get around somebody. So this is embracing a large area. My suggestion, and a few others, was that we would put a flashing light, and I think the residents of the area would afford the flashing light. It would be like a solar powered, and it would flash if you're going over the 35 miles per hour. We could have one at Roberts Landing and one down when you're leaving Algonac. So it would alert drivers to the fact that you're entering into a congested area, possibility for conflict and confusion and accidents. So if we can bring in Clay Township to be with us, I think it would start with a double yellow line. That way everybody has to follow the double yellow line. And even if we don't lower the speed limit, at least you would be able to just bumper to bumper on the way down, as opposed to trying to have a passing zone. That's where I would start, was a double yellow line going from Roberts Landing down to where it enters into Algonac again, where there's another double yellow line. Thank you for your time here.
You're welcome, sir.
We had MDOT down.
Fred, you gotta go to the podium.
Very sympathetic, very nice, and.
Fred, go to the podium, please.
I'm sorry, okay. We had MDOT down, and we had citizens in my front yard, and we discussed the problem, and they were very sympathetic about what they could do. We were looking for a change in the speed limit signs and things like that, and that's difficult. What they have done recently is, the yellow arrows and around Roberts Landing and down the roads, that is their answer, is arrows. It's a curve or pedestrian crossing. That's, as far as limiting the speed limit or getting into the speed limit or supporting us on that, they just only go so far, because the idea, if you lower the speed limit, want it lower, they'll raise it if they come by, which is weird in itself. But
Excuse me, but who told you that, the state or the county?
the state.
The state.
They measure
His
your
name is
flow.
Tamlin, that was down about a year ago. We had
Right.
Because you brought this up before, and I remember them saying that it was MDOT, wasn't it? Somebody from MDOT
Yes.
that said they'll rate the flow of traffic, and if they determine that the flow of traffic is higher,
Right.
the possibilities there that they would raise it.
Yes.
And he was like, you don't
Which
want
is
that.
like-
Yeah. So, it's a.
They have been cooperative or helpful, to a point. The sheriff's department is bad news. We've petitioned them, discussed, asked them, called them. I've had people talk to the sheriff, I know, and they won't come down, period, which is awful. I mean, we never see a sheriff's car. It's all we want, is we want a plant, maybe just a plant. Because when, the citizens see a car, a police car, they slow down. Or just give a few tickets. Clay Township Patrol officer told me recently that he's standing in front of my place because they give a ticket seeing Clay Township. And he's standing there right in front of my place at Roberts Lane. He says, see that car? I'd give him a ticket. But it's not his jurisdiction, because he's in, this is Cottrellville, and of course he's Clay Township officer. They think it should be 35 through the state park, too. That's another major accident waiting to happen. These little families cross the road. They want to get next to water. Talking to the DNR, it's not their problem. If you can imagine that, it is their problem. It's their people. I mean, they should be part of the problem. They don't want to be part of this, public safety any more than, I guess, whatever. But it's, it should be 35 through the state park. It's 45 is dangerous. And then, of course, 35 through Roberts Landing, but they never enforce that.
Fred, that stuff that I gave you last year I gave you the signs that you can use, the sun operates them. you said you wanted to know what they would cost, and I got some information for you,
Yeah.
and they were like, I think, what, 3,000 apiece, or?
Yes.
Yeah, you would still want those two? I mean, is that something that your group
Yes,
of people
I think so.
would
Yes,
raise the money for it?
definitely,
If we
right.
could get them to allow us to use that?
Yeah.
I mean, flashing lights does get your attention if
Yeah.
you're.
We'd like to
you know.
put it on our own property, we can't do that. Put the
No,
lights on.
no.
But, so you're talking about the flashing light.
Yep, it says, it tells you
Yeah.
what you're speeding in.
Yeah, that would be great.
Well, let's try that again, as long as it's
Yeah.
within your realm to collect enough money to take care of that. If that's all right with the board, can we?
Was there any
approach-
problem with that? Did we find the roadblock there? It did. Yeah, go ahead.
I think two things you should bring up is there are now residents with children, so a children at play would be a good sign to have out, children at play. And also, as Scott addressed, there are many, he's not the only hidden driveway. Any other place you have hidden driveways, and people, when they see that, if they've been forewarned and they hit somebody coming out, whose fault? You know, it's not the person coming out of the driveway, it's the person going too fast. I think the signage is lacking in the area. But aside from that, yeah, the main thing is tickets, I think, too.
Well, what we're gonna do, we're gonna accept your petition and record it as filed, and then whatever the board wants me to do you want me to backtrack and see if we can't get, do you want me to approach Clay Township and see what they would charge us to just kind of keep an eye on that section, if they could write tickets a little bit further? What they would
That'd be-
charge us for something like that?
Yeah, good for you if you can do it, yeah.
Well,
I hope so, we gotta, but you see, you gotta be bad news, you gotta go after them on this, because we had an article in the paper about a year ago of what we were doing down here, the gal came down, nice article in the Port Huron paper, front page. You can't even nudge them there, even embarrass them and say, where are they? They're powder among themselves, I mean, it's weird.
all right, well, if that's
So we'd
the
appreciate your
consensus
help,
of
and I
the-
think these neighbors here have just been great.
I don't think we
George
need
and
a
Dan.
motion, but
Thank you.
can
But
we
just
have a consensus?
inquire what-
Inquire what we have to do,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and then
what
bring
we
it back
could
to
do.
the rest of the board and see what they think.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, is there any public comments from the audience that someone would like to make?
The board was elected by the voters to represent them in matters pertaining to the township. We expect issues will surface, then be researched fully, discussed at meetings, and voted on. Your vote should be based on what would benefit the majority of the residents. It should be based on factual information, not on what you want personally or feel personally about the matter. It is apparent that board members are, in some instances, making statements that have no documentation to show if the information is fact or fiction. You cannot make a statement based on what you believe or what you think. The information has to be accurate. Please have documentation to substantiate information you are presenting on an issue. There have been statements made that are incorrect. Residents rely on the board to make the right decisions when they vote based on the research each board member has collected on the issue to vote correctly. This is our township. We do have great residents. We deserve a board that works together as a team to benefit all residents. That's my statement.
Thank you, Pam. Anybody else?
Do business? Roberts Road. It's a mess.
Okay, well, you want to tell me all about it.
You gotta tell anybody it's a mess, it's bumpy. The grader's been gone for 4 hours, now it's already bumpy. Next subject.
And you, sir, are?
What?
What's your name?
Oh, John Doe.
Okay, Mr. Furto. Yes, sir. All right, well, I guess that's the end of our meeting. I need a, Oh, you got one more thing?
Oh, these, George did
Oh.
run down what we should do.
Okay.
If each member could have a copy of this, this would be good. They did
All right.
a good job on this, and what we can do. So,
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, everybody.